السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله.
Just 1 second. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وروى ابن السباق وهو من سادات أصحاب الشافعي في كتابه المسمى بالشامل عن قيس بن طلق بن علي أنه قال: جاء رجل إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كأنه بدوي فقال: يا نبي الله، ما ترى في مس الرجل؟ ذكره بعدما توضأ فقال: هل هو إلا بضعة منه؟ وهذا هو القياس. Said Mr. Bach
الحمد لله رب
narrated.
العالمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. اللهم علمنا مراشد أمورنا ونعوذ بك من شرور أنفسنا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. تب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واحلل عقدة من ألسنتنا يفقهوا أقوالنا. اللهم اجعلنا من ورثته علم نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم الراسخين في العلم المحققين غير الضالين ولا مضلين الفائزين في الدارين آمين. Okay, so we continue with the hujjiyat, the proof that the qiyas is a shari dalil. We mentioned a hadith previously, and I have two hadith. Now I'm mentioning a third one. روى ابن السباح هو من سادة أصحاب الشافعي. Ibn Sabah Rahmat alayhi, he's from amongst the leaders or the foremost ulama of the Shawafi, in his kitab Al-Musamma bi-Shami, which is called Shamil. Ibn Sabah was from Baghdad, Iraq, in the 400s, meaning the 5th century of Islam. Around 400, he was born. In 470, if I'm remembering correctly, he passed away. Quite a few kitabs attributed to him, both in fiqh, Shafi fiqh, as well as Usool. But anyway, in Shamil, and Qais ibn Talq ibn Ali, he narrates on Talq ibn Ali anhu, that a person came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كأنه بدوي, and it looked as if this person was a Bedouin. فقال, so he said, Ya Nabi Allah, or he asked, Ya Nabi Allah, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ما ترى في مس الرجل ذكره بعد ما توضأ? What is your opinion, what is your ruling regarding a person who has touched his private part after having made wudu? فقال هل هو إلا بضعة من so Nabi Sallallahu said, is it not but a part of a person? Meaning, like, just like how you touch your nose or any other piece of flesh, in the same way, that's also a piece of flesh. Or just like how touching your nose or your ears doesn't break wudu, touching your private part also won't break your wudu as well. This is qiyas. Nabi Sallallahu is using one body part to make qiyas on another body part, and the illat being the same. Bid'atu means there's a part of you. So the hukm will also be the same, that it will not break wudu. وَهَذَا هُوَ الْقِيَاسِ, and this is qiyas. وسئل ابن مسعود أمن تزوج امرأة ولم يسمى لها مهرا. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, now you may say, we're going to mention some akhbar and athar. So this is the athar of the Sahabi. All the previous were Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is an athar, a hadith of a Sahabi, the narrated with regards to a Sahabi. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud who was one of the greatest fuqaha among the Sahaba, and the majority of the madhab of the Ahnaf is based upon him. He went to stay, was deputed by Sayyidina Umar to Iraq. That's why that became the center of the madhab of the Ahnaf. According to Sheikh Abu Ghudda rahimahullah ta'ala, in his kitab Fiqh al-Iraq wa Ahlu, we mentioned that over 1,000 Sahaba were staying in Iraq. Anyway, so Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he was asked concerning a woman who was married, and no mahr was stipulated for her. No mahr was stipulated for her. So what should happen in such a case? Will she get mahr or not get mahr? If she does get mahr, then how much mahr? وقد مات عنها زوجها, and at the same time her husband has passed away. So she was not, no mahar was stipulated for, no dowry was stipulated for her. At the same time, her husband passed away. So is she entitled to anything from the estate? Qabla dukhul, he passed away before relationships, before they could consummate marriage. فاستمهل شهرا. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud asked for 1 month, or he delayed the giving the answer for 1 month. So this is a sign of a fakir is not in a hurry to answer questions if he doesn't know. ثم قال, and he said, أجتهد فيه برأيي, that I exerted my own mind in regards to this masala, meaning I couldn't find it in the Quran or the Hadith any specific ruling on this. So I applied my mind to the Quran and Sunnah to see if I could derive anything from the Quran and Sunnah, to derive it from some principle of the Quran and Sunnah. فَإِنْ كَانَ صَوَابًا فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. If what I'm about to say is correct, then this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنْ كَانَ خَطَأً فَمِنْ عَبْدٍ. And if it is a mistake, then it is from Ibn Abd, meaning himself. That's what his, you call a kunya, Ibn Abd. And mother's name was Abd. So if it is a mistake, then it is from the son of Abd, meaning himself. فقال أرى لها مهر مثل نسائها لا وكسفية ولا شططها. My opinion is that she will get mahar, the mahar and dowry of the other females in the family. Otherwise, mahar mithal. In fatwa is that she's entitled to mahar mithal, in which there is nothing less and nothing more. وكسفية ولا شططها, nothing less and nothing more. Okay, and then in some other narrations we mentioned, I think there's Musa Ashari came forward to say that he had Nabi Sallallahu giving the same ruling. Wallah, anyway, khair. So this is qiyas. Right? He applied, he couldn't find a straight explicit ruling in Quran and Hadith. So he applied his mind to the matter, looking into the Quran and Hadith, and this is what he came up with. Understood?
Sure.
You there? Okay. So now the next chapter is, so that was the hujjiyat of qiyas. Now we come to the shurut. But because obviously you can't just make qiyas and therefore you can say that as you please. Because it is such a difficult and a very dangerous thing to do, to say that this is what the Sharia is saying, or this is what the Quran and the Hadith indicating towards. It's not a small matter. There has to be certain shurut and quyud in place, certain restrictions and preconditions, prerequisites. So by staying within these prerequisites, inshallah, it can be hoped, and it can be hoped that inshallah you will come to a correct ruling. And if it is a mistake, despite all your precautions and so forth, Allah won't take you to task for it. Okay? The munjtahid that is.
Sure.
So normally you mentions 5 shurut, but some kitabs got 4. Anyway, it doesn't matter. See, Bismillah.
فصل شروط صحة القياس. The chapter with regards to the conditions which verify قياس. 5 is 5. أحدها ألا يكون في مقابلة النص. The first of which is that it must not contradict the nas, Quran and Hadith. والثاني
Right? So the first condition is it must not contradict Quran and Hadith. You can't come up with a masala or derive a masala, and that masala is contradicting another ayah or another hadith. Okay? The Quran or hadith might not have anything to do with this masala, but what you have said is contradicting that Quranic ayah or that hadith. Okay.
ألا يتضمن تغيير حكم من أحكام النص, and then it must not change any ruling which has been established by nas.
G. So when you apply your qiyas, it must not be such that you end up changing the ruling of the nas. Otherwise, the asl from which you took the qiyas, it must not end up changing that and changing the ruling from one thing to another. How? Because your qiyas is a fara', and it is derived from Quran and Sunnah. So how can what is basically a deputy or something which is derived from something change the original thing? How can that be possible? G.
ألا يكون المعدى حكما لا يعقل معناه. So the qiyas must not be on a ruling which is contrary to the reason to the reason.
Okay. Yeah, so he's going to give examples in front of each one of us. So at the moment, he's just putting all five, and then he's going to explain examples for each. The third thing is the mu'addam. Remember that we did in the ta'rif of qiyas ta'di al-hukmi. So mu'addam means that the ruling to which, or the masla to which the original ruling applies. Meaning the qiyas. Simple thing, is it? The ruling which you derive from the qiyas, mu'adda, must not be such a hukam. No, sorry. The mu'adda will refer to the asl. The asl. It must not be such a hukam whose meaning in the illa is not understood. Right? Because one of the main things in qiyas, there are five arkan of qiyas, or four. One is the asl, the Quranic ayat or the hadith. The second one is the new masala, the haditha, which you are trying to find out the ruling of. The third is the hukam, halal, haram, whatever. And the fourth is the illa, a common factor that is shared between the two. Okay?
Sure.
So those are arkan of qiyas. So the illa must not be such that it is contrary to qiyas in the asl. Okay? Otherwise, the asl masala from the Quran and Hadith, it must not be something that goes contrary to qiyas. If it goes contrary to qiyas, you can't derive a second ruling from that. It will remain as it is, and you can't derive any ruling from that. Example, just so you can understand, laughing in salah. Nabi Sallallahu said it breaks wudu and salah. Whereas laughing is what? Laughing, the most you can say laughing is it's talking. It's some voice or some sound is emerging from your mouth. That's in the category of talking, kalam. And kalam breaks salah. Doesn't break wudu. So how does laughing break wudu? Because it's not ma kharaja min as-sabilayn. It's not blood coming out of your body, najasa coming out of your body, any other part of the body. Understand? So how come it breaks wudu? We don't know. The illa here hasn't been explained, and we can't come to any conclusion as to why that is. But Nabi Sallallahu said it, so we have to take it as is. But because this is khilaful qiyas, contrary to analogical reasoning, we can't derive any masala from this hadith. Can't base any other masala on this hadith. Follow? Sure. Why? Because the illa, which is the main rukn of qiyas, is missing. Or as you can say, the maf.
So the first masla is to be ambiguous. That which is in the Quran and Hadith.
The illat for it. The illat for it is unknown. Or khilaful qiyas.
Sure.
Okay? Meaning, why does laughing in the example I gave you break wudu? Taking salah, we understand why, but why does it break wudu? Understand? There's no understanding that we can come to. So this is something known to the shari. This is something known to the legislator. He knows why. Still law and knows why he said so. We have been unable to be figured out. So now we have to leave it as is. We can't derive any masala from that because we don't know what the illat is. What is going to be the common factor between any other masala you derive from this hadith and the hadith? Is no common factor. There is no illa there that we are aware of, or that we can understand rather. Understood?
Sure.
Okay. Carry on.
والرابع أن يقع التعليل لحكم شرعي لا لأمر لغوي. So the fourth reason is the way in which the illah is identified is in accordance with the principles of Sharia and not based upon a thought or
So the fourth thing is, in simple terms, the ta'alil, the illah that you are deriving must be for a hukm shari, must be for a shari'i ruling, for a religious ruling. It can't be for a linguistic matter. Others we say you can only make qiyas on Shari matters. You can't make qiyas on language, even if it is not related to the Sharia. The example coming from. But even if the language is related to the Sharia, you can't make a qiyas on language. That this is called this in the language, so therefore this applies to all such things as well. For example, khamar. Why is khamar khamar? Why is khamar called khamar? لأنه يخامر العقل, because it covers the mind, dampens the mind. A person loses their senses to some extent. So now anything that intoxicates, we're going to call it khamar also. Because there's the same, if you really either ahnasa, you can't do that. You can't call everything now. It falls under the label of intoxication khamar. But Shawafi disagree. Why? Because the word khamar, we're not talking about the ruling of khamar, eh? The word khamar was given to alcohol derived from grapes only. And the Arabs called any alcohol derived from grapes only, wine as it's in English, only that is khamar. Only that they apply the word khamar to. Now you can't take that linguistic, or that you can't take that word and apply the word to everything else, because khamar was called this. So anything else that has the effect of khamar can also be called khamar, and therefore the ruling of all other intoxicants will be the same. The ahnasa, you can't do that. And that's not permissible, that's not correct. And we're not talking about the ruling of khamar itself, we're talking about the word khamar, eh? Don't get confused.
Sí.
Okay? See. So the illa must be, so the illa must be for a shari'i hukam. It can't be because of a linguistic reasoning. G.
والخامس أن لا يكون الفرع منصوص is it but the ruling which the nas is mentioned in that which is mentioned in the nas.
Right, so this is one that is obvious, right? Because we mentioned qiyas only comes after we are unable to find an explicit ruling in Quran and Hadith. Then only can make qiyas. So this should actually have been maybe the first one anyway, it doesn't matter. So the secondary ruling that you are trying to derive must not already be mansus. It must not already exist a ruling in the Quran and Sunnah. If the ruling already exists in Quran and Sunnah, then what you're making qiyas of? You don't have to make qiyas. It's there in the Quran and Sunnah. Well, it's a waste of time. So qiyas is in the wrong place. Qiyas only comes after there is no explicit ruling in the Quran and Hadith. Yes, if a person made qiyas unaware, he didn't know the Hadith, or didn't realize that a particular Quranic ayah is indicating there was a farah, in that case, his qiyas will be batil. But to do so deliberately, obviously, is a sin, because there is already a ruling in the Quran and Hadith. Okay? For example, a person says, hey, you know what? I don't have wudu. What can I do in place of wudu? Hey, you know what? The earth is also clean. Maybe I can use the earth to clean myself. Yeah, that's already in the Quran. It's called tayammum. We don't need you to make qiyas or apply your mind as to what you can do if you don't have water. Just as a simplistic example, understand?
Sí.
Follow? So the first one, that is the farad that derive ruling the qiyas, there must not already exist a nas. There must not already exist a shari'i text regarding that matter. If the masala has already been discussed in the sharia, then it's what you make qiyas of. What you making qiyas? It's there. Okay. Now he's going to give examples of each.
ومثال القياس في مقابلة
He's saying
النص.
of, right, okay, so he's saying مثاله ومثال القياس في مقابلة النص فيما حكي أن الحسن بن زياد رحمه الله تعالى سئل عن الفهد هذه في الصلاة. The example of the first one, where a person is making qiyas in contradiction to a ruling from the Sharia, is what has been narrated. Okay, he's got this masla here now. Is what has been narrated from Hassan ibn Ziyad, rahimahullah. Hassan ibn Ziyad was part of the panel of 40, that together with Imam Hanif rahimahullah, produced what became known as the Hanafi madhab. Because Imam Hanifa didn't come to these rulings himself. He had a panel of 40 people, which is also according to the hadith, saying that you must consult people if you don't know. Imam Muhammad was part of the group, Hassan Ziyad was part of the group, Hassan Basri was part of the group, Imam Yusuf, Imam Zufar, all these people were part of that 40. So he was asked concerning laughing aloud in Salah. فقال انتقد الطهارة. Yeah. So then he said that your wudu breaks because of it. So قال سعد, so the person, the questioner said in response, لو قذف محسنة أو محسنة في الصلاة لا ينتقد بالوضوء. How can that be? In other words, he's like objecting that how can that be? Because if a person was to slander a chaste woman in Salah, his wudu wouldn't break, his Salah will break, yes. But his wudu wouldn't break. مع أن قذف المحسن أعظم جناية, despite the fact that slandering a chaste woman is a greater sin. How can a greater sin not break wudu, and something as simple as laughing breaks wudu? So this is qiyas in contradiction to a clear-cut nas. You now try to make qiyas in place where the nas has told us that it breaks wudu. You can't do that. فكيف ينتقد بالقهقه? So how can you wudu break because of laughing aloud? وهي دون, whereas it is of a lesser crime than this. We're saying فهذا قياس في مقابلة النص. This person is making qiyas in opposition to clear nas, to a clear text telling us that your tahari wudu breaks. You can't do that. And so if you're making qiyas and there's a text telling you the opposite to that, then your qiyas is of no consequence. وهو حديث الأعرابي الذي في عين يسوع. And what is a clear nas? It is that hadith of the Arabi who had something wrong with his eyes, which we discussed previously. The Arabic came into the masjid, he couldn't see properly, there was something wrong with his eyes. He didn't see the holy or the small little hole there. He stumbled and he fell, and some of the Sahaba laughed. And so when they saw him falling, so Nabi Sallam, after he completed Salah, he said that all those who laugh, repeat your wudu and repeat your Salah. There's a clear text. You can't make qiyas in the face of a clear text. There's clear ruling from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay?
Sure.
وكذلك, and similarly, if we say جاز الحج حج مرأة مع المحرم, that the hajj of a woman is only permissible if she is accompanied by a mahram. This is one of the extra shurut in the Hanafi madhab, that she has to be accompanied by a mahram. فيجوز مع الأمينات. So therefore, hajj will be permissible if she got no mahram, but there's a group of trustworthy women whom she feels safe with. She can travel in a group of trustworthy women. كان هذا قياس, and this is قياس بمقابلة الناس. I think this is qiyas in contradiction to nas. What is a nas? وهو قول عليه الصلاة والسلام لا يحل لامرأة تؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر أن تسافر فوق 3 أيام ولياليها إلا ومعها أبوها أو زوجها أو ذو رحم محرم منها. Nabi Sallallahu reported to have said, not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah in the last day, that she travels a distance of more than 3 days and nights, except that with her is her father or her husband or any close relative with whom it is impermissible, or with whom marriage is impermissible. Okay, so this is the Shafi madhab. The Shafi madhab allows that if a woman had become fard and she doesn't have a mahram to travel with, or the mahram doesn't have the funds to go with her, then she can go in a group of trustworthy women whom she feels safe with. Okay?
Sure.
So we say, no, now you're making qiyas. Okay? That because the reason for saying the mahram is so that the husband or the father can keep her safe, can protect her from the rigors of the journey and any untoward things on the journey. That's what his purpose, that's what the purpose of the mahram is. To keep her safe and to protect her. If that is the illah of protection and so forth, so if there is a group of trustworthy women who can do the same thing, it will be permissible. So that's qiyas. So we're saying you can't make qiyas because the clear text to say that she can only go with a mahram or husband.
Sure.
Okay?
So will it also be a qiyas if they give that argument to say that if you go with the plane then it's less than that 3 days and 3 nights.
No, that's not the argument because it's the 3 days and 3 nights was how they must measure distance in those days. So it does the length of time that it takes is makes no difference. It's the distance covered. So the distance
Mm.
that could be covered in 3 days and 3 nights, which is according to the Ahnaf about 78 kilometers according to most, 88 kilometers according to Sheikh Saab, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Saab, understand? So that distance, if a person travels further than, or is going to travel further than, then that person becomes a Musaf. So 3 days and 3 nights, we're not looking at the amount of time, but rather what distance can be covered in that time.
Oh,
Though in those days, either used to walk or used to go by camel or horseback, whatever. The distance that could be covered in that time, the ulama estimated it. In today's meterage comes to about 78 k's, 88 k. Okay.
sure, sure.
And now it's going on to the Mithal al-Thani. Do we have time? Okay. وما يتضمن تغيير حكم من أحكام النص. The second shart was that it mustn't change the original hukam of the nas, the original ruling from which you are deriving the masala. Your qiyas mustn't end up changing that. So, for example, now you call a niyat shartun fil wudu. That you say now niyat becomes a shart in wudu. Niyat is a shart in wudu. Why? The qiyas ala tayammum by making qiyas upon tayammum. Niyat is a shart in tayammum according to everyone, but not a shart in a wudu according to the ahnaf. So you can't make qiyas upon tayammum to the by using tayammum and saying that it's like how it is a shart in tayammum, it should also be a shart in wudu because both are tathir, both are a means of attaining purity from hadath. فهذا يوجب تغيير آية الوضوء من الإطلاق إلى التغيير. Because if you do so, this will necessitate changing the ayat of wudu from mutlaq to muqayyad, which we discussed there. The ayat is mutlaqan. إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم المرافق till the end. There's no mention of niyyah there at all. So now if you're going to add niyyah, you're adding something to the ayah, which is making it from mutlaq, changing it from mutlaq to muqayyad, which is not permissible in the Hanafi madhab. Then you're changing the ayah from mutlaq to muqayyad. This is taghyir, bayan taghyir, not permissible. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, give another example that we can discuss tomorrow, inshallah. You understood everything today?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, wala.
Gee, alhamdulillah. Any news on our other friend?
Not at the moment, no.